Hello everyone and welcome back to another video of question and answer series. Today I'm going to discuss about coordination compounds. There are several parts of the coordination compound. In this video I'll be discussing about the nomenclature, isomerism as well as the bonding aspect. So without any further delay, let's get started. So let's talk about first question. So what it says, which of the following pair the EAN of the central metal atom is not same. Alright. So first of all, you know what is EAN? Effective atomic number is calculated by atomic number minus oxidation number of the central metal ion plus 2 into coordination number. So let's see what are the example given here. So one is FeCN6 minus 3 and Fe ammonia whole 6 plus 3. So FeCN6 minus 3 and Fe ammonia whole 6 plus 3. How to calculate? Very simple. First calculate the oxidation number. That means X plus 6 into minus 1 is equal to minus 3. So X will be how much? Plus 3. Here also if you will calculate, you will get plus 3. So oxidation number is same for both of them. Z is also same for both of them. Coordination number is also 6 here also and 6 here also. So that means EAN for these two pair will be same. Now similarly look at the other example. Let's talk about B, chromium and chromium here. So what is the oxidation number here? Plus 3. What is the oxidation number? Plus 3. What is the coordination number? 6. What is the coordination number? 6. That means for this also it will be same. Similarly, you can think about this one. FeF6. What is the oxidation number? Plus 3. What is the oxidation number here? Once again plus 3. You can calculate. What is the coordination number? 6. What is the coordination number? 6. So everything is same, then it will also have same value. Now let's talk about this example. What is the oxidation number here? Answer is this is actually CO ligand. So for NiCO, you know how to calculate NiCO4. The oxidation number X plus 4 into 0 will be equal to 0. So X will be 0. So what you got, in the first case we have 0 oxidation number, but in the second case we have plus 2. So if the oxidation number is not same, the EAN will be different. So my answer would be D here. Now let's read the another question. The complex which is following the EAN rule. Following EAN rule means the one whose total electron equals to the noble gases. Right, that's what the meaning of this following EAN rule. That means for a metal of 3D series from scandium to zinc, in their corresponding complex, what should be the atomic number? It should be equal to krypton. And कितना value होना चाहिए? This should be 36. So we have to look into it. So CaEdTA minus 2. So what is the atomic number of calcium in this case? CaEdTA. Minus 2. What is the oxidation number here? So what is the charge on EDTA? Ethylene diamine tetraacetate. The whole formula is NCH2CH2 N CH2COO minus. Similarly here also CH2COO minus. Similarly replicate this thing, CH2COO minus, CH2 C double bond O minus. So as you can see, how much charge is there on one ligand? 4. So basically EDTA is minus 4. So what is the oxidation number? Very simple. X minus 4 is equal to minus 2. So X is equal to plus 2. Anyway, alkali metal and alkyl earth metal they have fixed oxidation state. For alkali metal it is +2, for alkaline earth metal it is, so for alkali metal it is +1, is from lithium to cesium it is +1, whereas from beryllium to calcium it is +2. Now how to solve this? Now apply the same formula. EAN is equal to atomic number. What is the atomic number? 20, minus oxidation number. What is oxidation number? 2, plus what is the coordination number in this case? You know that it is a hexadentate ligand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So 6 into 2. So what will be the total value? 18 plus 12. And 18 plus 12 value will be how much? That will be 30 only. So does it follow? Answer is no. But what they are asking? Follow EAN. Now let's look at chromium. So chromium, here you can see it's a ene is a bidentate ligand. So we will take Cr ene whole thrice plus 3. So EN for this case will be, what is the atomic number? 24, oxidation number 3, coordination number 6. So will it give 36? No, not equal to 36. So it also doesn't follow. Okay, now what about the next example where we have triene and BrCl. Triene and BrCl. My dear, triene and BrCl, let's look into it. Cobalt, triene and ClBr. The whole is having +1. So if you get the value, triene is a neutral ligand. So what we will get? The charge on this will be, let us assume x minus 1 is equal to +1. So overall thing will be +3. Okay, now what is the coordination number of triene? So triene is a tetradentate ligand. Why? So if you want to look at the structure, it will be like this: NH2, CH2, CH2, then NH, once again double CH2, then NH, once again double CH2, and then NH2. So isn't it similar to ene? So that's why it is named as triene. Okay, so it is a tetradentate ligand. 1, 2, 3, 4 donating sites are there. So what will be the coordination number in this case? It will also be 6. So total, let us multiply this thing. So EAN is equal to the atomic number, that is 27, oxidation number, that is 3, coordination number, so 4 and 2 into 6. So if you will calculate, this will come as 24 plus 12, and if you will sum it, this will come 36. So which means that it follows EAN. So what will be the correct answer? COBrCl, triene, it follows EAN. Now moving to the next question, 53. A 6 coordinate complex of the formula CrCl3.6 water has green color. Okay, so 6 coordinate complex it is saying. That means coordination number is 6, saying that green color, and now they are saying that a 0.1 molar solution of this complex is treated with excess of silver nitrate to give 28.7. This is not a gas, actually this is 28.8 precipitate. The formula of the complex would be, fine. So we do not know that the total 6 ligand, how they are distributed. All may be water inside, all 3 chlorine may be outside. It may be even like this, that we have 1 chlorine inside and 2 chlorine outside. But because they are giving precipitate, so it is very clear that at least 1 chlorine should be outside, then only we will get white precipitate, because AgCl white precipitate. So that means it might not be. Now we have to check which might be correct. So for that, so it is 0.1 molar. The correct thing should be written here as 0.1 mole of this or 0.1 mole and 1 liter. I think there should be addition of one word, but it's okay. We will understand and take 1 liter by default. Okay. So if 1 liter of some complex is taken, we don't know how many chlorines are outside. So if 1 liter of something is taken, 1 mole 1 liter of something is taken, so let us assume that outside Cl X is chlorine is present. Then if I will take AgNO3, then it will form AgCl precipitate. Now this is 0.1 and this is in excess, and the total amount of this AgCl that given is 28.7 grams. So 28.7 grams. So what will be the overall mole? So number of mole of silver chloride is equal to mass of silver chloride, which is 28.7, divided by molar mass. So molar mass of silver chloride is 108 is the mass of silver approximately, and chlorine will have 35.5. So this value will come out to be so it will be approximately just a minute. So 108 and 35.5. So it will be simply 4. So basically it will be 143.5. So 28.7 divided by 143.5. And now if you will divide it, it will be approximately it will be approximately 2. So if we will just solve this, it will be approximately, not approximately, in fact equal to, it will be equal to, I mean I guess 287 आ गया तो double times, so 2 by 10, which will be basically 0.2 mole. So what does it mean? That means that from here 0.1 mole we are getting 0.2 mole. So it is possible only if outside we have 2 chloride ion free. So that means it will be possible for B, right? So my answer would be B. Now moving to the next question, 54. Which of the following complexes will show the lowest freezing point? This is very, very important. Lowest freezing point, first of all, let us understand. Lowest freezing point, you know, in a solution of non-volatile solute, the depression in freezing point delta Tf is equal to I times Kf into molality. So suppose the number of mole per kg is same for all the complexes, whatever is given. Under that circumstances only we can compare. So if the molality is same, then in which case we will have the lowest freezing point. So for getting a lowest freezing point, don't you think that this should decrease more, and this is proportional to I. And what is I? So I is want of factor for electrolyte, strong electrolyte. It is equal to the number of particle we used to obtain, number of ion we used to obtain by one formula unit of that compound. Like 1 unit of NaCl will give 2 ions. So I will be simply 2. So similarly, let's look at these compounds. The compound given here is cobalt chloride dot 6 ammonia. Now another thing that you need to understand, that ammonia molecule can never be outside of the complex because it is gaseous in nature. So whenever it is there, it can be only inside. Only inside means we will write simply COCl3 dot 6 NH3. That means COCl3 dot 6 NH3. So what will be the actual representation? Because ammonia can never be outside, so and it is hexa coordinated, so I will take ammonia, all ammonia inside and 3 chlorine outside. Now similarly, if it will be COCl3 dot 5 ammonia, it will be equal to, we have to take all ammonia inside. To maintain the coordination number 6, we have to take 1 chlorine inside, so 2 chlorine will be there. Similarly, COCl3 dot 4 ammonia, in that case it will be CO ammonia whole 4, and we will have to take 2 chlorine inside. And similarly, my dear, if you will take this one 3 ammonia, in that case we have to take all chlorine inside only. Why? Because to maintain the coordination number 6. Now tell me which case we will get more ions. Obviously in this case, because this will give CO ammonia whole 6 plus 3 chloride ion. So one of the particle, this one, is giving how many particles? 4. 1 plus 3. Whereas this will break into 2 ions only. This will break into 3 ions because 2 chloride ion and this will break into 2 ions, and this will not at all break. So which have the highest value of I? This one. So that will be our answer, because I is more, depression is more, so freezing point will be more. So freezing point depression will be more, but freezing point will be low. So which of the following will show the lowest freezing point they are asking? Lowest freezing point means depression more. So our answer will be this. So moving to the next question, identify the outer orbital complex in the following. Outer orbital complex in the following. So what is outer orbital complex? An outer orbital complex means that it is using the outer D for hybridization, not using n-1d. And it happens when we have, when we have these electrons filled, or probably the combination is not going to generate. So for example, let us take this. The first example is given, nickel ammonia whole 6 plus 2. So nickel ammonia whole 6 plus 2, NiNH3 whole 6 plus 2. Tell me in this case, what is the oxidation number of nickel? Plus 2. So what is the configuration? It will be argon and 3d8. Now I will do one thing. I will just fill up here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, 7, 8. How many unpaired we have got? 2. Now you know what are the two possibility of the hybridization. So either it may be, because of the coordination number 6, it may be either D2sp3 or it may either sp3d2. So for getting D2sp3, we need 2 of these orbitals vacant. Is it possible here? Obviously not. Why? Because we have 2 electron here. Even if you will pair it up, then we will get only 1 vacant. But we need 2. So that means taking inner D is not possible. In that case, we have to take outer D for the hybridization. So it will be sp3d2. So correct answer will be this only. Now if you want to check for the other option, you can go for it. For example, about cobalt ammonia whole 6 plus 3. So if we will take cobalt ammonia whole 6 plus 3, what is the oxidation number of cobalt? That is plus 3. So what will be the electronic configuration? So very simple, argon 3d 6, 4s0, 4p0 and 4d0. Now look at here, if we have 6 electron over here, now don't you think in this case, if we will fill up these electrons, one, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now for this thing, either the hybridization is D2sp3 or it will be sp3d2. For getting this one, we need to pair. So will it generate two empty orbital after pairing? Answer is yes. Just pair it up here and just pair it up here. And if you will do that, after pairing, what we will get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These two orbitals are available. So what will happen? This will combine with the remaining orbitals and we will get the hybridization, desired hybridization, ns n minus 1d. So we will get d2 and sp3. So now the question will be, sir, whenever there is such situation, we have to always pair? No, because ammonia is close to strong field ligand, not exactly that strong, but moderately strong. At the same time, cobalt is bearing plus 3. So both of these combination, having charge, higher charge, and at the same time a good ligand, it is the main reason for pairing up the electron. So the hybridization in this case will be D2 sp3. So because it is using inner one, it is named as inner D complex. And in the previous case, it was using these, it was named as sp3d2 outer D, because it is using this one, not n minus 1d ns. Fine. So now let's move to another question. In what way these two complexes are different? That's what the question is. FeH2O whole 6 and FeCN. So what about the geometry? Answer is same, because it is also octahedral, it is also octahedral. What about magnetic moment? Yes, that may or may not be, because we have to look at their nature and the configuration. But geometry for sure, that they have same. So magnetic moment and color hybridization, number of d electron, because the oxidation number, if you will calculate here, that is also coming out to be plus 2 and plus 2 here also. So if the oxidation number is same, number of d electron is also same. That means by default the correct answer came to be this one, magnetic moment and color. If you will talk about the method how to approach this, then let's see that. So one of the complex is FeH2O whole 6 plus 2 and the other complex is FeCN whole 6 plus 2. Now we have to discuss about the magnetic moment first. Now if you look at here, this iron is attached with cyanide ion, which is a strong field ligand. Now if it is strong field, whereas water is a weak field ligand. So what will happen, that by CFT, because that gives the accurate picture of the magnetic moment. So octahedral splitting will be like this. And what is the oxidation state in both of these? That is iron plus 2. So iron plus 2 will have configuration argon 3d6 4s0, right. So for the weak field, what will happen? You can see here we will have, for this particular case, 1 2 3, and then it will go 4 and 5 and 6. So we have 2 and 2, total 4 unpaired electron we have here. So magnetic moment will not be 0, it will be diamagnetic. Whereas if we will talk about this one, it also have 6, but because of the cyanide, the splitting will be very high, and that's why pairing will be possible in this case. So 1 2 3 and then 4 5 and 6 we have to do this. So that means no unpaired electron, so it is a diamagnetic. So this is dia and this is para. Now moving to the next question. In the complexes that are attached to, that are attracted in the external magnetic field are, okay. So obviously, which will be attracted to the external magnetic field? Answer is the one which is paramagnetic. Now look at these two cases, CO and CN. These are strong field ligands. Look at this one, weak, and water is also weak. So I would like to go through here. Let us talk about the 4 coordination number 4 first. So considering the example of NiCl4 minus 2. So what is the oxidation state here? Nickel in plus 2. So what will be the configuration in nickel in plus 2? 3d8. So 3d8 means we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8. So we have 2 unpaired electron and 4s0 and 4p0. So since chlorine is a weak field, it will not cause any pairing. That's why for the hybridization we have to take S and outer P. So this will be paramagnetic for sure. Now if the same thing is nickel cyanide whole 4 minus 2, then what will happen? The same nickel plus 2 has to be paired up. In this particular case, what will happen? This will pair up and we will get an empty d orbital. We will get one empty d orbital, one s and 2p. So the whole hybridization will be dsp2. So this will be a diamagnetic thing. Now if we will talk about the NiCO4, then in this case nickel is in 0 state, and in 0 state nickel will be Ar3d8 4s2 4p0. Now let's look at the arrangement. So 3d8 means we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8. So we have 2 unpaired electron. Because it is a strong field ligand, it will cause pairing. So what will happen? It will pair up, and the moment it will pair up, what will happen? We will get a vacant orbital here. And for participating S, it is very essential that the electron of S should be free, so it has to come back to the lower state. So now actually we got 3d10 and here we have vacancy here, 4s0 and 4p also 0. So now what will be the hybridization? For the 4 ligand we need 4 orbitals, so it will be sp3. So this is diamagnetic. As you can see, everywhere we have paired electron. Now if we will talk about the example which is nickel hexaaqua complex plus 2, the nickel in plus 2 state is nothing but Ni argon 3d8, and now in d8 state we have two unpaired electrons, since it is not a strong field ligand and nickel is in lower state also +2. So there is no chance of pairing. So what will happen? 4s, 4p and 4d will be there. So it will utilize the remaining set of orbital such that we get sp3d2. So it will be an outer orbital complex. At the same time it will have two unpaired electron. So it will be paramagnetic. So correct answer for this one will be paramagnetic, this as well as nickel cyanide, nickel chloride, this one and this one, both will be correct for this. Now let's talk about the next question. The species having tetrahedral shape is, okay. Now for getting tetrahedral shape we need total of how many? We need total of 4 ligand. Now as you can see here, in this case we have 5 ligand, so it will be ruled out. Here nickel cyanide 4, just now I spoke here, if you can see nickel cyanide 4, I told you that it will be because of the cyanide ion, the pairing will be there. So one of the d will be available, so it will use 1s and 2 of the p orbital. So whole hybridization will be actually dsp2, so it will be square planar. So this is square planar. And if you talk about the next example, that is nickel chloride -4, then yes, you can see here, just now I discussed that also. So because it is a weak field ligand, so it will not pair up, so it will have to use the outer set of orbital, that is s and 3p, so sp3, so it will be tetrahedral. So tetrahedral species is that only. This one is tetra. I think there is a printing mistake here, Cu is not possible, right. So the correct answer would be D. Now moving to the question number 59. The magnetic moment of a complex is given this much. The complex ion is. So let me tell you, if the magnetic moment is 2.83, and if you solve this quadratic equation for the magnetic moment, mu is equal to 2.83 is given. If you solve the quadratic equation, this is equal to under root n plus 2 Bohr magneton, that is equal to 2.83. You will figure out the value of n to be 2. How do I know? So there is a very simple observation that whatever the, if you remove this part, decimal part, whatever the thing that is left will be considered as unpaired electron, or else this is the small trick. Otherwise if you want to go, you have to solve the quadratic equation by making them integer. So I prefer like this only, right. Now if you look at this, vanadium is present in +3 state. So if we solve about vanadium, vanadium's atomic number is 23. So its configuration will be argon 3d3 4s2. So what will be vanadium +3? That will be argon and 3d2. So how many unpaired electron do we have here? 1 and 2. So we got the answer. The correct answer will be the first option itself, this one. Now similarly, if you want to verify this, here you see chromium is in +3 state. So chromium's configuration is argon 3d5 4s1. So chromium in +3 state will be how much? That will be argon 3d3, and d3 means what? How many unpaired electron? We have 3 unpaired electron, right. And here in the case of copper cyanide whole 4, and which is -2. So that means here copper is present in +2 state, and copper in +2 state means what? D9 configuration, and D9 configuration means if you go through it, you will find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 1 unpaired electron. And if you look at here, this is manganese plus 2, Mn plus 2, and with a strong field ligand. Now what to say and how to get it? So Mn plus 2 straight away will be D5. So D5 with strong field ligand, how it will happen? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But after continuous pairing, let's pair from here to here, let's pair from here to here. So we will just get one unpaired electron. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we got one unpaired. So it is also paramagnetic but have one unpaired electron. So the correct answer will be A, as I told you at the beginning. Now moving to the next question, 60. The correct order of energies of the d orbitals for a metal ion in square planar complex is. Now this is really important, because how does a square planar arrangement is formed? A square planar arrangement is formed when ligand used to approach along x and y axis. So what will happen? You know that the orbital which lie on this axis, exactly the lobe is on the axis is dx square y square, and the next thing which lies here is dxy. So as you can see here, the maximum repulsion when ligand will come close to it, from here to here, then the maximum repulsion will be experienced by these set of orbitals, these set of lobes which belong to dx. So that's why the maximum value of energy is having dx square y square, have the highest value. Thereafter the second best is dxy, because that also lie in the same plane xy. Now thereafter we have dz square, because it's this particular part, the ring part, lies in the same plane. So that's why dz square. And now the one which is perpendicular to the two approaching ligand, like about this or about this, that means yz or zx plane, those two are at the bottom, dyz and dzx. Alright, so this is the overall energy, and you can understand in this way that in case of octahedron, we have both of them exactly at equal energy state, and rest 3, that means dxy, dyz, dzx is like this. What happens here? Dx square y square faces more repulsion, dz square less. Out of these three, this goes here and rest 2 goes here. So this is how the overall splitting of the square planar arrangement is. So the highest energy will be for this one. So let's look at the option. So if you see the option, the correct answer would be dx square y square and then dxy and then dz square, and so this is the correct answer, D. Now moving to the question number 61. The crystal field stabilization energy for this is. Now this is very unique example. Why? Because when you talk about cobalt ammonia complex and cobalt is present in +3, then because of the ability of the cobalt, I mean oxidation number of cobalt, the splitting energy increases a bit. And if the splitting energy increases, what will happen? It will force pairing. Not only with the ammonia, let me tell you, even if in case of ammonia here oxalate is there, then also it will be there. Even if here water is there, then also pairing will be there, because that increases delta because of this charge. Okay. So what happens? So what is the configuration? It will be simply D6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. So what they have asked? They are asking about the CFSE for this. Now how to calculate CFSE? You know this is delta O, this is average energy where we assume barycenter. Right, and here 0 is there, and this gap of energy in terms of the total delta O, this is simply minus times of 2 by phi delta O. So, how many electron do we have? Total 6 electron we have. So, CFSE will be equal to number of electron multiplied by energy associated with them. So, 6 into minus 2 by phi delta O, total is 12 by phi delta O. So, this will be nothing but 2.4 delta O with a negative sign. So, the correct answer here will be this one. Now, if we will talk about the next question 62, identify the most stable ion in the following. Now, this is little bit tricky, because if you see here, in every case it is octahedral, 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 octahedral. And let us look at the oxidation state. So, here we have plus 3, here we have plus 2, here we have plus 3, and here we have plus 3. So, leaving aside this one, remaining in all cases we have plus 3 state. Now, if you will talk about, anyway, let us talk about the plus 3 case first, and thereafter we will compare these two. So, out of all these plus 3, what particular thing is differing in each case is the nature of ligand, water, cyanide, and this. In such case, the question becomes very easy, because how we have to solve? Actually, when you increase the CFSE value, and CFSE value increases, I mean this splitting energy increases as the ligand is powerful. So, that means Cn minus have highest value of this gap, and thereafter the next thing, I mean if you will talk about CO have the highest, thereafter Cn minus, and thereafter other ligand used to come. So, if this is higher, then you can imagine iron in plus 3 will be D phi. So, that means 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So, basically we have to multiply 5 times of minus 2 by phi delta O. This gap you already know, minus 2 by phi delta O. So, more the electron or more the value of delta O, in both of these cases the value of CFSE will be less and less. CFSE is less and less means more and more stable, because it is coming lower in energy. So, out of these 3 examples which I have stated in plus 3, this one and this one, obviously this is most stable. Now, some people used to give an argument about this is giving a chelating effect. No need to go through it. Why? Because chelating effect is incorporated. There the bond is formed by the oxygen in case of oxalate. So, obviously the chelating effect is taken care. We need not to worry about it. Okay, because ultimately in the energy this is very, very important factor. So, and those who are not aware with, then cyanide is a pi acid ligand. That means it forms double bond. It donates also, at the same time it accepts in its pi electron. But anyway, let us not go into that, and let us make it simple by saying that we have to follow the order of the ligand. So, ligand order incorporates every single factors inside it. Okay. So, obviously out of these 3, this one is best. Now, if you compare these two, so these two are very, very difficult, because in one case in iron, that means FeCN6 whole charge minus 4 and FeCN6 whole minus 3. In one case we have plus 3, in one case we have plus 2. Now, if you will draft the CFSE value, this is average value of 0, this is minus 2 by phi delta O, then you can see in both of these cases 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. 6 will be for this case because it is D6 and this one is basically D5. So now tell me, in one case the CFSE value will be how much? CFSE will be 6 multiplied by minus 2 by 5 delta O. In other case it will be 5 multiplied by minus 2 by 5 delta O. Apparently it seems that this value is more lower, that's why it should be more stable, that means it should be more stable, but the reality is by increasing the oxidation number of the central metal ion from +2 to +3, the value of the splitting this one increases. I mean this goes to the higher level. So that's why it is experimental to determine the order that which impacts, and increase in oxidation number is more as compared to increasing an electron here. So because of that this becomes more stable. So don't commit this mistake. It is because of the value of delta O is higher in this case, and that's why iron +3 is more stable as compared to iron +2. So out of these two, the correct answer will be B only. Now moving to the next question. A magnitude of the crystal field stabilization energy in the octahedral complex depends on. So it is asking about CFSE dependence. So yes, it depends on the nature of ligand. It depends on the charge on the metal ion. Yeah, it depends on the transition metal series, whether it is 3D, 4D, 5D. It depends on all of these. So correct answer will be all A, B, C are correct. Now in which of the following splitting of the orbitals of metal atom or ion electrons are incorrectly distributed? So this is tetrahedral, as you know. So tetra mein the Eg set will be lower and T2G will be higher. Now how many electron we have? Total we have 8 because D8 configuration will be there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. So let's look at, yes, it is given in like that only. So there is no problem at all. Now this is once again D8 and it is outer configuration, so anyway it will not depend. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that is also correct. Now if you look at here COF6, this is a very weak ligand. So if it is weak ligand, then after filling 3 electrons, fourth one should go up. But what has happened, you see, they have paired it, which means this is wrong. So what they are asking that incorrectly distributed. So correct answer will be this one, cobalt containing. Right. And now let's move to question number 65. So what is the electronic arrangement of a metal or ion in octahedral complex with D4 if pairing energy is higher? Now tell me, if pairing energy will be higher, that means octahedral is like this. If in pairing we require more energy, then what will happen? It will move to the higher state. So it will go to the higher state. So D3 ke baad D4 will go here. So this is Eg1 and T2G3. So correct configuration will be T2G3 Eg1. That means C. Now moving to the question number 66. In which of the following complex ions the spin only magnetic moment is √3? √3 means number of unpaired will be 1, because if you do this, magnetic moment is equal to under root n plus 2, and if you will solve it, simply n into n plus 2 is equal to 3. Put the value of n is equal to 1, you will get the answer as 3 into 1 will be equal to 3. So that means 1 unpaired electron should be there. So in which case we have 1 unpaired electron, that's what we have to figure it out. Now if you look at this, copper plus 2, and at the same time saying that outer d orbitals are used in the hybridization. This is also very, very important. Not inner d. It should have 1 unpaired, at the same time outer. So you know cyanide forces pairing, and you see the manganese configuration also, that is Mn plus 2 means D5. So D5, that means pairing space is there, 1 2 3 4 5. So it will pair up, it will pair up. So we will have one unpaired, but it will pair up, so we will get two vacant orbitals, so it will be basically D2sp3. Okay, now cobalt CO4 is mentioned here. So obviously in this particular case we should not discuss inner and outer, because inner and outer word should be taken for at least 5 and 6, right? We should not use the word inner and outer for this. Coordination number 5 and 6 would be more helpful. Now let's talk about this copper H2O whole 6. This seems to be very reasonable, because if you see here, this is copper and H2O whole 6 and plus 2. So what is the charge on copper? That is plus 2. That means copper plus 2 will be argon 3d9 and 4s0. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So we have one unpaired. So obviously for the 6 ligand we need 6 empty orbitals, so it will use as outer p and at the same time outer d. 5 orbital will be there, we need just 2. So whole hybridization will be sp3d2 for this one. So this will come for sure. Moving to the next question, 67. Now what it says that which of the following complexes have highest number of unpaired electron? So for unpaired electron we need to check for this one what is the oxidation number in each case. Like here we have 0. So nickel 0 means basically D8 and S2, but since strong field ligand is there CO, then what it will do? It will cause pairing. So whatever D which we have here, 6, 7, 8, it will pair up, and at the same time the electron from the 4s, it will also come to the empty orbital which is coming here. So overall arrangement will be, it will become 3d10, right? So yes, so no unpaired electron here, so it will not be correct, but they are asking about the highest number of unpaired electron. Now if we will talk about the AgCN2 minus 1, then also we have to look into it and we'll see it will be silver in plus 1 will be simply D10. So there is no unpaired electron at all. Now if you talk about in this case cobalt, once again look at the oxidation number. So overall charge is plus 1, so we will do that. So x plus 4 into 0 minus 2 is equal to plus 1, x is equal to plus 3. So cobalt in plus 3 state will be nothing but D6, and look at ammonia and NO2, both are there, and NO2 is a powerful and ammonia is also good ligand, so they will cause pairing in octahedral. So what will happen? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, no unpaired electron. Then automatically the correct answer will be D. You can check it out also. Copper in plus 2 state is nothing but D9, so we will have one unpaired electron here. 6, 7, 8, 9. So we will have one unpaired electron. Now moving to the next question, 68. Now what it says, which of the following complex compound does not exhibit geometrical isomerism? Does not exhibit geometrical isomerism. Now you look at this complex, straight away you will get the answer. 5 ligand of one type, only one chlorine is there. So no matter how you are going to place them, it is just like M, A, phi, B, like that. So A, B. So no matter wherever you will place, you will always get identical arrangement. So this is the correct answer for this. Now 69, which of the following complexes is likely to show optical activity? Optical activity. Okay. So let's talk about them. So we have the first case of trans of this molecule. So trans of this molecule means 4 ammonia and 1 cobalt. So you can see here trans. So trans means what? So let's look at here. So trans of ammonia 4 Cl2, ammonia 4 and Cl2. So Cl2 we have to take at 180 degree, whereas every case will be ammonia. So clearly you can see here plane of symmetry is there, this will overlap this one. So it is not optically active. Moving to the next example, this is all symmetrical anyway, all are water, so it will be cancelled out automatically. So now let's move to the cis molecule of this thing and trans molecule of the same thing. So cobalt ammonia and another is bidentate. Now if you will talk about the cis and trans version of that, so trans of the ammonia and ene is ene, you know this ligand is ene, NH2 CH2 CH2 NH2. As you can see, plane of symmetry about this. So it is the trans one is optically inactive. What about the cis? It will be. Why? Because we have NH2 and NH2 here, and you know that NH2 and NH2, you can see there is no plane of symmetry here. So no plane of symmetry, no POS, no COS, that means optically active species. So this is optically active. So cis will be optically active and trans will be optically inactive. So my answer would be this. Now if you will talk about the next example, and that is which of the following isomerism is exhibited by the complex ion, this one. Okay, finally. So you can see here Ma2B2C2 type of example it is created. So what kind of isomerism may it exhibit? Outside they haven't given any other thing. So we cannot think about the ionization. We can't even think about the hydrate isomerism, right? Because outside at least some ion should be there. And we cannot think, because you see it is negative, that means here positive will be there. So how will we exchange? And linkage obviously not there. So what might be the possibility? Yes, geometrical isomerism. So geometrical isomerism is possible. You can do that also, like you can make cis and trans. You take 2 chlorine here and here in one case, arrange the others, and you take 2 chlorine here and here and arrange the others. So this is cis and this is trans. So yes, geometrical isomerism will be there. Now moving to the question number 71. A 2-liter mixture of a solution X was prepared by adding 0.02 moles of this and 0.02 moles of this. Now what they are saying, they have taken 2-liter solution by mixing 0.02 mole each of A and B. Now let's solve it. So the total volume that we have here, how much? 2 liter. And how many moles of A and B is taken? 0.02, 0.02. Now if I'll take just 1 liter of this solution, then what will happen? So 0.02 is present in 2 liter, but in 1 liter how much it will come? It will come 0.01 A and B also 0.01 B also in this solution. Now this solution is treated with excess of AgNO3 and excess of BaCl2. And what are these complexes? One has Br outside and other has sulfate outside. So what will happen? CO ammonia whole 4 sulfate Br. CO ammonia. So A is nothing but CO ammonia whole 4 whole phi SO4Br. So this is whole phi sulfate and Br. Now what will happen if I'll treat with Ag plus? So how many moles that we have right now is 0.01. So how many mole of AgBr I will get? AgBr 0.01. Okay, the second complex, which is actually sulfate outside and bromine inside, that is treated with barium chloride. That is treated with the barium chloride. So what is the complex? That is CO ammonia whole phi Br, and sulfate is outside this time. So if I will take Ag plus, so it will form Ag2SO4. Now how much it was? 0.01. How much sulfate it is going to give? So from one of the molecular unit, it will give CO ammonia whole phi Br plus 2 and plus sulfate ion. So one unit will give 1 sulfate ion. So 0.01 will give 0.01. So the whole precipitate will be 0.01. So what we got? We got from both of these, we got the same value of the AgBr and this complex. Both values are same. Acha, pardon me. Actually, this is not Ag plus. What they have given? They have given here is barium chloride. So it will form simply barium sulfate. Okay, the answer will be anyway same because both are precipitate only. Sulfate ion will combine with the barium, so it will form 0.01 only. So in both of these cases, how many moles of AgBr and this will get? Will get 0.01 and 0.01. So the correct answer will be X plus Z, that will be 0.01 plus 0.01. The whole answer will be 0.02. Fine. Now let's move to the next question, 72. A metal complex having coordination number 6 have different types of ligand A, B and C. Obviously, when small a, b, c is used, that means unidentate ligand can exist in several geometrical isomers. The number of such isomer possible theoretically is. Number of such geometrical isomer possible theoretically is. Okay, so now let's solve this. Ma2, B2, C2. Now one of the isomer, I prefer writing this whole thing in this form, Ma2, B2 and C2. When I am saying A2, B2, C2, then I would like to take in the axis form as MAA, one of the representation as MAA, MBB, MCC. What does it mean? I want to arrange like this. Along one of the line A and A, other line B and B, other line which is actually perpendicular to this one, that is C and C. Okay. Now you can see here it is with respect to A, it is trans, with respect to B also it is trans, with respect to C also it is trans. So trans with respect to all of them. Now what I will do, I will keep AA fixed, but I will change this. So what will happen in this case? Now in the other diagram, what will happen? AA will be as it is, but remaining two B, C and B and C. Now in this case, what I can say that AA is trans and here BC is trans to each other. BC is trans to each other. Or you can see C and C are at 90 degree. AA is trans and CC or BB is cis. So like that, how many such arrangement I can do? I will just fix this time BB and change AC and AC. Next what I can do? I will fix CC, now AB and AB I will do. And at the end I will move in the cyclic order AB, BC and CA. So obviously how many isomer geometrical they are asking. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 geometrical isomer. Okay, so the correct answer for this will be 5. Now let's move to the another question. They have given a complex Kn MnF6 has a magnetic moment of 4.9. You remember earlier I told you one of the simplest way of knowing the value of unpaired electron is under root. If you want to do, you can do like this, as magnetic moment mu is equal to root over n into n plus 2, and you can put it here 4.9 and then solve this quadratic equation and get the value. But how I solve? I basically have observed that if you will take out this pointed value, whatever is left, that means the greatest integer of this thing, that will give us the value 4, and so that 4 is actually the number of unpaired. You can check it out by solving the quadratic equation. Now the oxidation state of Mn in such complexes. So how many unpaired electron do we have here? We have 4 unpaired electron in MnF6 and we do not know what is the oxidation number. So let's do the electronic configuration of Mn first. So what will be the electronic configuration of Mn? It will be argon, 3d5 and 4s2. How many unpaired electron do we have right now? So we have here in d5 total 5 unpaired electron. Now how many actually I need? I need just 4 unpaired electron, right? Because I just need 4 unpaired electron. Now to get 4 unpaired electron, if you are going to remove just one, then it will increase the number of unpaired. It will become how many? It will become further one more. So the whole set will be how much? 6. So remove one more, then that means how much I have removed? Basically 2 from here and 1 from here. So total if you will remove 3, then you are going to get this. Okay. So the whole answer for this will be Mn plus 4. That means argon 3d4, sorry, that means we have to remove actually 3, that means it will be Mn plus 3, my dear. So 3d4 and 4s 0. So the whole answer in this case will be 1, 2, 3, 4. So overall we have 4 unpaired electron. So 4 unpaired electron means yes. So because you know that fluorine is a weak field ligand, so no need to think about that. So for 4 unpaired electron we need a charge, how much? Mn plus 3. So if it is plus 3, can you tell me what will be the whole thing here? So that means Mn F6 plus 3 and the total charge is minus 6. So overall sum will be minus 3. That means here we have to take 3. So what is the value of n? What is the value of n? N is 3. So now what will be the final answer? Because they are asking about sum of n and x. What is x? X is the oxidation number of Mn. So what was that? We had calculated it is plus 3 and n we got to be 3. So the sum of 3 plus 3 will be 6. So correct answer will be 6. Now moving to the next question, that is 74. So for D6 ion in an octahedral complex having strong field ligand, what is the number of extra electron pair with respect to the free metal ion? Okay. So please look at the word, it is D6 and the complex is octahedral and having the strong field ligand also. Okay, so D6 in octahedral. So how it will be? So octahedral is like this, you know the splitting in octahedral. T2G set have the lower energy and strong field, and total is D6. And if strong field is there, that means this gap is much higher than pairing energy. Then what will happen? So 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 and 6. So what they are asking now, they are asking about what is the number of extra electron pairs with respect to free metal ion? So, what is the number of extra electron pairs with respect to the free metal ion? Now, if the free metal ion is there, we have D6, then what will be the configuration in this case? For D6, for a free metal ion, when there is no ligand, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Only one pair of electron is there. But how many pair of electron is present over here? As you can see here, 1, 2 and 3. So, earlier we had 1 and now we have 3. So, extra pair of electron will be 2. So, yes, my answer will be 2 in this case. Now, moving to the next question and the last question of the series is total number of optical isomerism for the complex, this one, which is MAA whole twice AB, where AA is bidentate ligand and small a and small b is unidentate ligand. So, how to calculate it? So, we have to figure out MAA whole twice and AB, asking about number of optical isomers. So, let us talk about this. So, MAA whole twice AB, what we can do here? So, one of the best thing about this is AA and AB as you can see here, AB at 180 degree. The another case that is possible here is when I take A and A here and A and A here, that means AB over here. As you can see here, in this case we will get optical activity only if the plane of symmetry should not be there and center of symmetry should not be there. So, POS should not be there, COS should not be there. In that case, that form will be optically active. Now, look at this particular case. If I will pass a plane which contains A, B, that means this line, and the midpoint of this one, if you pass a plane like this, don't you think this is symmetrical about this one? So, that means POS is there, so optically inactive. Now, what about this? Do we have any POS? No. COS? No. That means it is optically active. So, out of this trans and this cis one with respect to B and A, this is optically active, and you know that any optically active isomer have its enantiomeric pair in the nature, and that is just the mirror image of this one. So, what we have to do, simply draft a mirror image AA right. So, this is A and A. So, how many optically active isomer will be there? So, enantiomeric pair D plus L. So, the whole answer will be 2 optically active. So, that is all everyone. Hope you would have understood the whole discussion. See you guys in the next video. So, guys, if you want more videos like this, like, share, comment and don't forget to subscribe for the latest videos.